All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddie Live Show, episode number 201. Finally crossed that 200 mark. I am here with Nazeem Solari. How do we say it? Solari. How do you pronounce it, brother?
Solari.
Solari. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
So I'm using my bad French accent and it's wrong completely.
it's actually Italian.
It's Italian. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot. Okay. Right on, brother. Hey, thanks for doing this, man. I appreciate it. I'm just there we go. Are we live? Yes. Just give me 30 seconds here just to make sure we are up and we are. Yep, we're good. Okay. Usually I have my wife or somebody kind of checking. Yeah, okay. Awesome, man. How you doing, brother? Things how's life? You got the beach life now, that's what they say.
Well, we had the beach life for about it's closing on 4 years now, and it's
Okay.
probably one of the best moves we've made is getting the beach house.
Okay. Wow. So is it Fulong? Yeah, I think you've been telling me, but
Yeah, it's
all your
so
posts. Yeah, go ahead.
Fulong on the northeast coast. It's still like New Taipei City. New Taipei City.
Okay, and so that's where you guys are for the summer.
Every weekend.
Every weekend. Oh, and
Yeah,
I guess there's a
gotta get out of the city, man. Drives
yeah,
you insane.
yeah. No, I know the feeling, brother. So are you involved or something with the Waves Taco, right? You've been promoting a
I
couple of
can promote
places. What's
because
up?
Yeah, so my degree is in marketing, right? So I just feel like
Oh,
it's
okay,
a natural inclination just to help out.
okay,
Plus, I've owned a bar in Taiwan before, and I
okay.
like the restaurant bar business, so I like to help people out.
There you
And this guy, Kurt, he opened up a taco joint in Fulong recently,
go. Yep. How's it
and we
doing?
got the
How's it going?
it's going pretty well.
Nice.
Like during the week is a little slow because you only have the locals instead
Sure.
of the because I mean Fulong essentially relies on weekend trade and holiday trade. So it's obviously more busy on the weekends.
Yeah, of course, of course. I think that's usually how it goes. I mean, you have to do it on the weekend. Oh, we got a hello, man. Long time no see from David Curdy. I
Yeah,
hope the audio
David.
is good, guys. Is that your
Yeah,
bro?
David and I go back a ways.
Yeah. Shout out to David Curdy. How's it going, brother? So yeah, quickly, man. Let's start with your story. I know you've been here for a long. I think maybe even longer than I have. Right. So we usually
Well,
start up. Go ahead with the Taiwan story, man. So let's have yours. What brought you here originally?
um, well, funnily enough, in a month or so, it will be my 22nd. We call it a Taiwan anniversary.
Taiwan anniversary. I know it.
Yeah.
I know it.
So I actually landed in what was it? September 1st, 2000.
Okay.
Yeah. And
My
to
math is
be
bad,
honest,
so let's go. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Okay, go ahead.
well, it's not exactly 23 years because I went home for a year or so to study and finish my degree.
Beauty.
Um, but I mean, the reason for me traveling, to be honest with you, sheer boredom. I was bored.
Okay.
I hated where I was working in South Africa. I had money saved up from my first job after university, and I just wanted to get out and travel
Okay.
for a while.
Okay.
So luckily for me, a friend of mine who they're actually still in Taiwan, um, my friend Chantal Verstock, her sister had already been here, having
Okay.
been in the English teaching business, the ESL business for
Yeah.
a while, and she was convincing her sister Chantal to move to Taiwan. I just happened to be there that night, sat in
Okay.
the corner, listened, and like, can I go too?
Yeah.
She's
I love
like,
it. I love it.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, but we're leaving in 2 weeks, so you got to get your stuff organized.
Oh,
That
wow.
night, I went home, told my mom I'm leaving for Taiwan in 2 weeks. See ya.
See ya. Okay. And this is in South Africa, where?
Cape Town,
Cape Town. That's the
best
capital, right?
place to go in South Africa.
Okay, best place. Okay, I've heard that. I've heard really good things about Cape Town and South Africa, and yeah. To be honest, when I came to Taiwan, because I have some friends from in Canada, different parts of Africa, some from South Africa, but they were all like colored. They were all black. And when I came here, I met so many. South Africans that spoke Afrikaans. Like it's really cool. When I came here, I heard this accent and I was like, what is this accent? I can't pick that out. And then I got to meet a couple of really cool people out here. It's cool, man. It's cool when you travel, the things you get
You
to
know
meet.
what? You know what I like about what you just said? You just dropped colored without a hesitation or preconception of, oh, somebody's going to get upset about this.
Is it okay? I was like, I had it. I was like, oh my
No,
gosh, yeah.
it's
Because I
that's right. That's what I am, right? But it's the thing about North Americans, especially, and like the Brits, for example. They get so upset when you use that word. It was like, yeah, you get upset because you don't know the South African history,
well,
right?
the reason that I think that I'm able to drop that word is because, again, coming here, meeting South Africans, they would say there's white and then there's black and then there's colored. And they
Yeah,
told, I learned that from South Africans here in Taiwan, funnily enough.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah. That was 20 years ago. I've been here for 20 years. Yeah. Lots of South African friends over the years. And yeah, it's definitely something I've learned here. But yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to say it now in the West. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah.
I just make it easier. Hey, we spell it differently. There's a U in ours. It's
Oh,
different.
there you go. There you go. That's crazy, man. Oh man. Well, the beach life. So you came here and you right away went into the teaching business, right?
Yeah. So landed here. My first stop was in Elang,
Okay. Oh, nice.
and so Chantal and myself, we needed to find a job. There was no guarantee of a job coming over, so we went off one day. Did an interview at one place that didn't work out,
Yeah.
and then me, man being man, is like, hey, let's not take a taxi back. Let's walk. I know where I'm going, and we got lost, of course.
Okay. Of course.
Uh, so
Yeah.
we end up on this. We end up on the street. We see this place that says English Street. It's like, hey, somebody must speak English, right?
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
Went into that place. They said, oh, this is where you want to go. They gave me directions, and then they offered me a job, and I stayed at that school for like 5 years.
Okay. Was it? Were you lucky and the first job was kind of like a pretty good one? It sounds like it, because I
It
mean,
was pretty
usually.
good.
Go ahead.
I had a pretty good relationship with the boss. She was very helpful. Hooked me up with all kinds of different gigs all over the place. That even if it wasn't
Nice.
at her place, and I met some of my oldest friends at that school. They're still friends now. So,
Nice. Nice.
um, but it's crazy to think that my first class at that school, those kids are probably like 30 years old or more.
I have
It's
that.
like,
I have that too.
oh,
I have
I've
that too,
been here
man.
too long.
No, it's crazy because me too. I taught kindergarten, like yeah, 20 years ago, and I coached soccer for a long time as well. And some of those kids, yeah, they're following like the podcast. This one time, like I was just telling this story earlier. This one time, I would say 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I was just here in the restaurant, this one working, and this girl, like I'm talking, beautiful girl, probably like a 10 out of 10. She comes in, she walks right up to me and she just gives me this massive hug. And she's just like squeezing me so tight. And I'm kind of like, um, hi, uh, who are you? And she's like, oh, my name is, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, last time I saw you, you were 12. Like you're like 25 now. She's like, yeah, yeah. I'm so excited to be back here. And it was crazy because all the staff was looking at me like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? I'm like, hey, I don't even know who this is. So give me a break. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
I think it was a joke from Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
He was saying like, oh, he was DJing in this club, and these really attractive girls came up to him and said, "Hey, you Jamie Foxx?" He's like, "Yeah, girl, what's up?" He's like, "I go to school with your daughter." I'm like, ugh.
Oh,
Oops.
yeah. I've got a little girl, and yeah, she's 11. So yeah, I still have some time before that, I guess. I don't go to the clubs anymore anyway, though. So that's this is my fun, man. This is out. You come and have a podcast. Well, the next time you're in town, we'll do it. We'll do it like an in-person one. We'll have some beers and stuff. It'll be fun.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, brother. So just a quick backtrack here. We met with the WOTD. Obviously, we're
Yep.
both big UFC fans. You are also quite connected in the Taiwan MMA community here. Yes, correct?
I would say pretty well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did
Like
that start? Tell me about that. Tell me about that. Yeah.
well, when I was living in Elan, I really wanted to get into martial arts again. I did karate as a kid, but I didn't really enjoy it. It was a
Okay.
bit too static for my liking. But when I moved to Elan, I started doing kung fu with a master out there,
Cool.
and
Cool.
then when I moved over to Shinzu, I got involved with this club. At the time, it was called Mingu,
Okay.
um, and we started the club started hosting fight nights, and I'm like, hey, I want to get involved in this. This looks like fun. So I started getting involved with a couple of other foreigners from the Shinzu area, and we became kind of the production team for the event. So we had cameras, myself and another foreigner, Sammy Swiggers, who's also fought in Taiwan and in South Africa. We became the commentary team,
Beautiful. Ah,
and in the process of training with these guys and hosting these events, we got to know almost everybody from around the island back then because the MMA community in like 2009 was really small.
small. Yeah.
Yeah. And basically everybody knew everybody and everybody trained with everybody. So that was kind of fun.
Okay. And this is in
And
Elon. Beautiful. Okay.
no, 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 this was when I moved to Shinzo.
Okay. Sorry. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Elon at that point had
Nothing.
no MMA, no Muay Thai, no Jiu-Jitsu, no nothing.
So you were doing the English commentary from way back already then. Yeah.
2009 in Shinzu, yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Because when we did ours together, I was like, "Oh, this is my first time," and Matt was like, "Oh, I did it before," and I wasn't sure if you did it or not. So that was me. I was me being the rookie then. So that makes
Yeah,
sense because you killed it, man. You were so good at it. It was great.
it's fun. Like
Yeah.
anybody who knows my Facebook page, I'm always about making predictions, some
I
of
love
which are on point and some of which miss the mark completely.
I love it.
Like my Robert Whitaker Dricus Duplessis call.
Well, we all thought that Whitaker was going to kill Dricus, man, because he just beats everybody, and he was really close with Izzy, and so I mean, I have a buddy who bets in Canada, and he's always like, I know you love UFC, I know you watch a lot of it. If there's ever like a sure thing, let me know. And I'm like, no, I can't do that because if you lose,
There's
I'll
no
feel
such
bad.
thing.
Yeah. So I was like, this was the only time where I was so close to calling him and saying, Robert Whitaker beats Dricus Duplessis. That's a sure thing. It was so close, and I didn't, and I was so happy that I didn't. Yeah,
Well, in my analysis,
yeah,
I did say if Drickus can make it 30, don't
okay,
try and fight technical with Whitaker,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Makes
And
sense.
I think he did. Like he did exactly what I said, and he got the result that he wanted. And props to South Africa.
Yes, I mean that's obviously one of the biggest questions I want to ask you, right? Because yeah, he won that. Nobody thought he would, but once they started to fight and they started to grapple a little bit, Dricus is massive. Like I knew he
He's
was
a big
big,
boy.
but
Yeah,
dude is massive. Like
yeah.
yeah, he looks like he can ragdoll. He should have, he'd be able to ragdoll Whitaker no problem. As soon as they started going, I think if he grabs him, it's over. But we were like, no, it's Whitaker. No, it's Whitaker. And yeah,
Mm.
I mean, he was powerful. He was great, and it was good. It was good for him because yeah, he wasn't getting much love, and also it's also good because as much as I love Whitaker, I don't really want to see Whitaker and Izzy again.
No.
I mean, I'd watch it, but it's not like it's kind of like Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. Fan of both,
Yeah,
but it's like let's do that
three
fight.
fights in a row.
Yeah,
Yeah.
three times in a row. You're like, that's okay, and then you're showing the fights, and people are like, oh, who's fighting this Sunday? And I'm like, oh, these guys, and they're just like, what again? Didn't they fight already? I'm like, yeah, this is the fourth time they fought. So yeah, no, so it's gonna
Well,
be cool.
for a different result.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good fun, right? Yeah. So no, basically, yeah, that's really cool. So let's talk a little bit about that, honestly. So obviously, Drickus won, right?
Yes.
Pretty handily, and then a drunken Izzy, they put him in the ring and they put a mic in his face, and he got a little crazy. So what'd you think of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. from the
from South
perspective
Africa. Yeah,
of as a South African,
yeah,
I don't think Drickus is in the position to call out anybody's ethnicity. Basically,
yeah,
you know, I
yeah,
mean, you've got um, just the very nature of the American culture. I'm Irish American. I'm Italian American. Mexican American. Their home ethnicity is still very important to them.
yeah,
And for you to want to take that away from them does them a disservice.
yeah,
So if Drickus had said that, I feel like Izzy's a little bit warranted in being a little,
yeah,
do we swear on the show?
yeah. Go ahead. Sure, sure, sure.
Izzy's warranted in being a little pissed off.
Yeah, of course, of course.
However, to drunkenly get into the
That was
ring to confront him and dropping N bomb after N bomb after N bomb.
yeah.
Like, what did you expect? Drickers to pick up where you left off and also start dropping N bombs? That would make him look like an idiot.
That would be even worse. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Drick has handled it very well, honestly. But
yeah,
it was Izzy was drunk, right? He was drinking. You know, you could tell by his voice. He was having a good. He was screaming like he was losing his voice. But it was
yeah,
yeah, it was a pretty rough showing. I thought. Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't a great look for a champion.
yeah,
It's like I love the champions who carry themselves as champions.
yeah.
So for me, people like Lyoto Machida,
Oh, yeah,
um, GSP, like not just look the part, act the part. You know, it's like so that was not a good look for a champion.
I yeah. It was. I mean, he was drinking. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I know. Like you're saying, GSP. I love GSP, and even when uh that conference when Nate was it? I keep mixing Nate Nick Diaz was
Yep.
talking trash, and then he got pissed off, and he's like, "Do you think I'm afraid of you, man? Are you crazy in your head, man?" You know, that was
Yeah,
about that's about it. That's about all you get. Yeah,
trash talk would not really be GSP's strength, especially in English.
it's funny because I have some French Canadian friends, and we were talking about it, and they said that I guess in French, that's what people lo con la cabeza, same in Spanish. But he was like, "Are you crazy in your head, man?" And it was hilarious. I love GSP, not just because he's Canadian. He's just one of the best of all time. I love him.
I was actually interested to see GSP is part of Elon Musk's training team.
Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. And that's
But
enough. That's roll right into the next question, brother. What do you what do you think of that? What do you think of Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk, or what do you think about all that?
the billionaire, what are we going to call that? The billionaire bash up.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. There you go. Good one.
um, obviously, it's a lot of just ridiculous free publicity for these two.
Yeah,
Uh, the internet and social media being what it is, they'll eat it up.
they love it, man.
Um, and you can see the hypocrisy of somebody like Dana White, who is like, "We don't put on gimmick fights," and he jumped at the opportunity to
Yeah,
host this fight. So I'm
I
like,
know.
"Yeah, whatever, Dana." Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, I think everybody would enjoy watching these two guys just punch each other in the face for 30 minutes.
I think so. I think.
Although,
Go ahead. I think they're talking about it being UFC 300. That's what they're aiming for.
oh no, don't stay in the 300 card. Not the
That's what I hear.
100, 200, and 300 is supposed to be like the best cards you can put together, you know?
Yeah,
I hope they don't stain that card with something like that.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, does it have to be in the UFC, or do you think
I
do they
mean,
need? I don't think they
fight
need
night
it.
at Apex is fine.
Yeah,
Give them that. It's your
yeah,
first fight.
exactly. Right. No,
That
I think it's crazy. Go ahead, keep going. Yeah,
that being said,
yeah,
I reckon Zuckerberg takes this.
yeah. Agree. And why?
Um, well, you and I both know one of his previous trainers, Caillou. Caillou's been back and forth to Taiwan to fight a couple of times.
Yep.
Caillou's a legit fighter with a
Yep.
solid record.
Yes.
And when you've got people like him saying like this guy's got moves, he's got skills,
He's good.
and then
Yeah.
he proves it by winning a couple of tournaments,
Yeah. Exactly.
right? So if
Yeah.
he's got the hands to back up the grappling, like he's gonna dust Elon Musk, I think,
Yeah.
probably by submission.
I think so too. I think Musk. I think he's quite a bit bigger. I think he's quite a bit bigger. But
Yeah,
I mean, have you seen those newest photos of Zuckerberg with Izzy and Volk
yeah,
training? Like he's ripped. Like he's got like a chest. Like he's looking in shape, man. Like
yeah.
it's pretty unbelievable. Yeah, yeah,
So he's been taking the grappling serious for a while,
yeah.
and you can imagine somebody with that kind. Like they both. I feel like they're both kind of guys with like hyper focus,
Sure, they must be. Yeah,
right? To be who they are in the world at this
yep,
time.
yep,
And when you've got that kind of laser focus on something, and you've got billions of dollars and free time,
yeah,
there's no limit to what you could achieve, depending on your just athleticism. Really,
yeah.
I mean, we've seen some unnatural, like not natural athletes become champions. Like for me, Tim Sylvia, for example,
Sure, yeah, yeah.
that man
Massive.
moved like a tree stump, basically, boom, 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 and he
True.
became a UFC champion,
Yep.
right? But Zuckerberg looks like he's taken to grappling like a seal to water,
Yeah,
whichever analogy you'd like to use, metaphor, and it shows that he's got a fair degree of athleticism behind him. Musk, I'm not so sure. I'm not as familiar with his school background. If he did any sports, where you can rely on some of that kind of athleticism,
yeah.
but I think at this point, right now, with their age as they are, I think Zuckerberg has the edge.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Also because I know Kai Wu pretty well, and yeah, when we chat about it, on the record and even off the record, yeah, he would say, yeah, he's dead focus on it. He loves it. He loves the grappling. They're going to tournaments. Kai Wu's brother-in-law is actually Dave Camarillo, who's also
Oh,
like
okay.
another BJJ guy, big
Yeah,
BJJ guy. So obviously he married Kai's sister. So it's a pretty good camp. And yeah, to be honest, I mean, they would spare no expense if they're really going to do it. I hope they
yeah,
do, to be honest, because for example, when Connor fought Floyd, I
yeah,
don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe longer. Um, at that time, I had two restaurants, and people don't maybe they don't watch boxing, maybe they don't watch UFC, but they know that I show the fights. I
yeah,
was getting calls and messages from all these people that could care less about UFC, could care less about boxing, but they want to see Conor McGregor box Floyd Mayweather. It was
yeah.
crazy. And I
And
mean, go ahead. And so give me one second. And they actually have to somewhat know who Floyd is, somewhat know who Conor is.
yeah.
But
I mean, Floyd
some
is.
go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, even people who don't watch boxing
Yeah.
have some inkling of who Floyd Mayweather is. Like
Exactly.
he's the fights with Manny Pacquiao got a lot
Yeah.
of press all over the world.
Yeah.
Um, and obviously, when the McGregor fight was announced, again that made world news all over the place, especially the build up with the trash talking. Instead, that was on basically on every news channel in the world.
The world
Uh,
tour. Yeah.
yeah, so they hyped it up really well to the point where even losing, McGregor made 100 million or something stupid,
That's right.
80 million.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. I heard it was 100, and I heard Floyd was 2. So it's
Yeah,
kind of
so, I
it's
mean,
kind of
yeah,
it's
you
crazy.
can whoop my ass around the block all day long if you're gonna pay me $80 million.
Oh, for sure. Me too. Me too, man. I mean, damn. Yeah. And also, so the one person that I remember was I mean, we haven't seen her in a long time, but there was this lady who used to come to eat all the time. So she's vegan, and she's like a dog rescuer, and like so she's super like peaceful, like super sweet. amazing lady. And I get this phone, my phone starts to ring on Messenger, and I look at it, and it's this lady, and I'm like, the hell does she want? I'm like, oh, I'm like, hello. She's like, hey Eddie, how's it going? I'm like, good, good. Long time no see. I'm like, yeah, what's up? She's like, are you showing the Connor fight? And I was like, what? She's like, are you showing do you still have seats for the Connor fight? And I was like, yeah, you want to watch Connor? She's like, yeah, I got to see it. And it's like Taiwanese people that don't even watch fights, like middle age, like people in their 60s, whatever. They're asking about. They're like, oh, you show the fights? Yeah, you're gonna show the Connor fight? Just like it was crazy. Conor McGregor. Yeah,
The Taiwanese are kind of funny about sports. I mean, all you see them watch is
World Cup is
baseball,
massive.
basketball, pool. Like that occupies most of TV, and then tennis, right?
Yeah, tennis. Yeah,
Um, but without fail, during the Soccer World Cup,
yeah,
you've got these throngs of people who suddenly show up in the bars, and they're talking strategy, they're talking formations, they're talking who should be on the bench, yada yada yada. It's like, when did you have time to become an expert? And then even during the Rugby World Cup,
yeah,
we've seen it. Like, who plays rugby in Taiwan except the
yeah,
foreigners?
yeah. Exactly, exactly.
Yet they are familiar with, like, obviously, if you're gonna know something about a sport, you know the top teams, you know
Yeah,
the so you know the South Africans, you know the Springboks, you know the All Blacks, you know the
for sure.
Aussies.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but they seem to have a really strong knowledge of all the teams, really. So I think it's one of those things that when we decide to get into a thing, we get into a thing,
yeah, yeah.
right?
And
So they
I
don't
think
half-ass it.
Taiwanese they're pretty good at like with school with memorizing and stuff like that. So if they're like, what do we do? We're gonna study it, and then we're gonna kind of know the players. And yeah, so you'd come in and people start talking about all the teams and stuff. And you know I coached soccer my whole life, and I watched it a lot and played it a lot. And yeah, when the World Cup comes around, Taiwanese people will come and start discussing the starting lineup for Mexico. And I'm like, what? And some of them know more than me. I was like, "Hey, what? How do you? Oh, he plays for. They're like, he plays for some whatever team in Spain." And I'm like, really? I didn't know that. I'm like, yeah, yeah, he does. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, so I'm a huge obviously UFC fan. So slowly now the UFC stuff, because I'm also a busy guy. I'm a restaurant owner. I got a
Sure.
family. So I kind of, yeah, slowly. I don't want to say I don't watch soccer anymore, but mostly now I'm mostly watching UFC. So yeah, I'm definitely out of it. So when someone comes in and they're giving me all this, knowledge on Mexican soccer, it's like, wow, okay. It's been a while since I've
Whatever
witnessed.
source works, right?
Exactly. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
But I think one of the problems for, like, as a South African,
Yeah.
we are raised on English football,
Okay.
right?
I
We
didn't know.
watch the EPL religiously.
Okay.
Um, it was, I think it's only like post 2000 where you start seeing your PSG shirts, your Barcelona shirts, and these become more popular as we seeing more leagues. We're being exposed to more leagues. But
Gotcha.
without fail, every South African, whether they are white, black, or colored, they've got an English football team that they support.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
That's great. No, I mean, with obviously my family being Mexican, we grow up and we watch like the Mexican League, and it's
yeah,
funny because whenever I go back to Mexico, um, yeah, we have the teams we support, but when I go to like the shopping mall and they're selling all the jerseys of all the clubs, I
yeah,
get like all of them. You know what I mean? And all the Mexicans are kind of like shocked because, like, let's just say like a Real Madrid guy would never wear a Barcelona shirt, right?
yeah.
And I'm
Like,
doing the
dude, choose
equivalent.
one.
Yeah, I'm like doing the equivalent of buying like all of them, and then they would always ask me like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" It's like it's almost sacrilege, and I always tell them, I'm Mexican, but I live in Canada, so I'm kind of like I'm repping like Mexico. Like I come to Taiwan and I'm wearing like, Chivas from Guadalajara, and then the next day I'm wearing, their rival, like Club America from Mexico City. And then the
Yeah.
Mexicans were just like, wow, how,
Sacrilege.
how dare you? And I'm like, no, no,
Blasphemy.
no. I'm like, bear with me. I'm here. I'm representing the league. I'm Mexican. People come to me for the Mexican knowledge. And I'm like, I love Mexican soccer. So yeah, I mean, some Mexicans would get to the point where, let's say, like there's two teams. One's from Guadalajara, one's from Mexico City, and it's kind of like El Clásico. It's like the
Yeah, yeah.
Real
Barcelona.
Madrid. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it'll be like it's called Club America and Chivas, right? So they would get to the point where if the Chivas would win and it go to like the World Cup of clubs, the Mexicans that like the other team, like the America supporters, they want
Support the other team.
they want Chivas to lose. And I'm like, how could you want them to lose? That's they won. They're representing Mexico, and they're like, no, no, we hate them. I'm like, no, what? So it's crazy. It's crazy when you're kind of in it, and then when you step outside, you're like, whoa, you're representing like you're here, you're in Taiwan, you're representing South Africans, right? Like people like, oh, I know a South African, Nazeem. Oh, he's great. Yeah, he's my buddy, South African guy. Like I said, when I came here, I didn't even know that they were how do you say like white South Africans. And I came here and I was like, oh, I've met so many. Cool accent. They even have Afrikaans.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great people. This is great. So I don't know. It's crazy, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, for the South Africans, we're, we're pretty much diehard for our club support.
Sure.
And myself, I grew up on my mother's side of the family.
Okay.
Imagine a family roughly 50 people strong.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
of that 50, you've got one Tottenham supporter,
Okay.
one Chelsea supporter,
Oh,
one Liverpool supporter,
and that's you. Okay. Okay. At least you picked a
and
good
the
one.
rest of them are all Manchester United.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one for sure. It's funny because yeah,
I think the day I announced my club allegiance, I think I heard my father's heart break.
yeah, the glass was shattering. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Um, but I mean, it is what it is, and I chose that club when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, that's
You
great. I
know,
love it. It's a great story, man. It,
and then the real point that I was trying to make about us being English club supporters is that for me, it's a pain in the ass to watch the games. Like the timing is
that's a problem.
it's so bad
Yeah,
for us here.
yeah. 3
Whereas
a.m.
yeah,
Yeah,
like 3 a.m. on a Saturday or
yeah,
Sunday morning or something. I was like, nah, I'm doing other things at that time.
yeah. Exactly, exactly. That's kind of one of the reasons why I got out of it because I was trying, I was following it a lot, and then slowly, it's like, yeah, you start to do that. You get busy. You got your family. You're growing. You're doing your thing, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I've done it. I did it for a long time. I would stay up and I'd watch the international matches, from 3 to 5. But after that, you're like hungover for like 2 days. You feel like crap. Like for me, anyways, it's like it's a bummer, man.
So generally speaking, like last year, last was it last year? Where was the World Cup? Last year, right?
It was last year. Yeah, 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 I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
So it's the World Cup. You make exceptions for the World Cup,
of course, of course. Yeah, yeah,
but for the what is it like 42 games of the English football Premier seasons? Like,
something
nah,
like that.
I don't need to watch that game.
Yeah,
I mean, highlights package is good enough. But the UFC, on the other hand,
yeah.
I mean, I wake up on a normal weekday at 6 anyway.
Okay, okay.
So waking up at 6 on a Sunday morning, it's normal for me.
Yeah,
So it was an easy carry on. It's
yeah,
just like when they have
yeah.
weird locations like what is
UK.
it?
When they're in the UK, it's like it's crazy.
It's a little
Uh,
bit weird.
yeah,
Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, it's a
Abu
little bit
Dhabi.
weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, Best ones are obviously in Australia.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Those are good. Yeah,
with some place in Asia is always great, but
yeah,
those are very rare.
yeah, yeah. Very. They're they were gonna do a South Korea one in the last few months, but then I think the zombie got pulled out of the fight or something. So that's a bummer. But yeah, I think Singapore UFC comes to Singapore once in a while.
once in a
South
while. Yeah,
Korea once in a while. So yeah, I gotta the next one I gotta go. I went to one in Japan, which was pretty good. I loved that. That was
yeah.
good. I went to one in Canada as well. So yeah, I've been twice. It's live is unbelievable, man.
I have yet to make that commitment, but I have been to a one FC though, and
Okay,
the one that was here in Taiwan. That was great.
I missed that one, and I'm like, I'll go to the next one.
Never
Never
happened. It's like,
again. Never again. Like, damn it. Yes, it's like never again. I was
we
like,
know
yeah,
who we're gonna blame. We know who to blame.
yes, it's crazy, man. It's a huge bummer. It's a huge bummer. But yeah, well, let's talk a couple more fights here, right? So obviously boxing, right? Let's talk about the two big boxing fights coming
Yes.
up. First, we'll talk about Mr. Africa, right? Francis Ngannou,
Yeah.
Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury. What do you think of that, man?
Um,
Yeah,
I posted something on your fight page
I know. I saw it. I
today,
saw it.
and I fear that the same thing that happened to Connor will happen to Ngannou. The UFC fighters are, by comparison to boxers, they sprinters as
Yeah,
opposed to long distance runners.
100%.
Right?
Yep.
Um, when you build your cardio, when you build your training regime, it's designed for a certain way that suits MMA.
Yeah,
Boxers fitness regime, their fitness plan is going to be different
yep.
because their fights are different, the round timings are different. And I said during the McGregor and Mayweather fight,
Yeah,
I told my friends, watch this. Knowing that the typical MMA fight is about 15 minutes,
yeah.
in boxing terms, that's round five,
Okay, okay. Yeah,
right? And I told my friends, watch round six, is going to be different. And immediately, like round five, round six, you saw it, that Connor's energy levels plunge.
yeah.
He just couldn't keep up that pace,
True.
right? So I fear that Ngannou is going to have the same problem.
Yeah,
That's why I said he's got to rush Tyson Fury, overwhelm him with like pure brute strength, basically,
yeah, yeah. He is a
and just
monster. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah,
just beat the crap out of him, throw him in the corner, beat the crap out of him,
yeah,
and hopefully put him down for the count.
yeah.
But if it gets beyond 3 rounds, and like let's say 5 rounds,
Okay.
I think Ngannou is going to be toast.
Yeah. I 100% agree with your breakdown. First of all, I'm very happy that Francis got the fight because I think as much as I love the UFC, I think they did him a little bit dirty, right? They were
Yep.
trying to, they're doing him dirty a little bit, which sucks because you want this guy. He's a fighter. You know, did you see his
And a
story
hell of
on
a champion.
Yeah, exactly. He's the champ. But did you see his story on Rogan when he told his story all the way from Cameroon, how he
Yep.
basically smuggled himself into Europe? It's
Yep.
crazy. It's a crazy story. And to just, I don't know, just to lowball that guy, that's pretty rough, man. I thought that was bad. I did want to see him fight Jones. I do think that Jones is still too much for everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, Jones is just he's a machine. I think he would have to do something similar to Jones.
I think the kind of disrespect and disregard of Ngannou started with the
Sad.
very creation of that BS interim title for Gunn.
Yeah,
It was almost immediate.
yeah,
Like after Ngannou's fight, it was like, this is uncalled for, a little unwarranted,
yeah, 100%.
right?
It was only a few months
And
after. Yeah, it was crazy.
yeah, and then they just started hyping Gunn as this major thing,
Yeah,
and it took a while for that fight to happen.
yeah,
And in the meanwhile, the kind of disrespect towards him continued. And then he smashes Gun. You're
yeah,
nothing. Get out of here.
yeah,
This is your interim champ.
yeah,
Um, but that still doesn't give him the respect he deserves.
yeah,
And then the lowballing and all of that starts.
Bad.
So, but I mean, this is the thing. If you don't play the organization's game, you don't follow their rules,
Yeah.
you don't get paid.
Yeah. It's sad because it's almost like a monopoly. I mean, there is, PFL and 1FC and stuff like that, but it's even though they say technically 1FC brings in more income, it's still not as big, right? Still not as big as UFC.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
The thing they will need to grow is greater exposure in the West.
Yeah.
Um, they've got to do the pay-per-views
Yeah. Yeah.
because those bring in big numbers
Yeah.
if you sell it right. But their problem is, in my opinion, is that their fighters don't have a lot of their fighters don't have brand recognition in the West.
Yeah. 100%.
So
Yep.
a lot of people wouldn't be familiar with the names,
Yeah.
even though there are some awesome champions
Yeah.
in ONE FC.
Yep. Yeah. No, I love it. I love 1FC. I love watching the fights. It's funny that I've been watching so much UFC in Taiwan that now, like for example, I'm going back to Canada for a month and I'll actually watch the next pay-per-view at a normal time, which is like 6 or 7 p.m. And that's gonna be when I did that last time, it was so weird for me because it's usually me. I get up at like 6 or 7.
Where's my breakfast?
Exactly. I get up 6 or 7, go to the coffee shop next door, grab this stuff. I set up all the TVs. I get all the sound going. I get everything going. Then I have like my little quiche and my little coffee at like 7 in the morning. I watch the prelims, and it's great. But now it's going to be like it's like post dinner. It's time. Everyone's getting shit faced. It's going to be. It was crazy. It was crazy for me last time I did that, and it's going to be the same this time. Yeah.
I think the thing that I miss the most, I guess, when it comes to the live events is my buddy Ian.
Okay.
Um, he had a restaurant downtown, and he used to show the fights like you do. But he had like a little room in the back of the restaurant, so all the boys would show up at the restaurant in the morning,
Exactly.
pile into the back room, and like we'd have our little festivities in the back
Of
while
course.
the restaurant is opening up. And by the time the last fight is done at about 12, we're toasted already, and they're like, "Hey, great day, great morning."
So the funny thing is, we do that still here, but now with this location, like we used to do it at the smaller location, and then when we closed that, now we have it at this location, and this is a big
There's a big one, yeah.
this is big. This is big. And so we have this section here, and it's just all the fighters, all the fans, anyone who wants to come and watch the fights, they all pile in here. And then yeah, everyone's having drinks and stuff like that. And then so this half is all fight fans, and then the other half will be like regular Sunday lunch diners, right?
It's like,
And then
what's
so
going on over there?
so by 12, but the cool thing is Taiwanese people, they come, they like the atmosphere, like, oh, this is a kind of a Western sporty sort of a World Cup sort of atmosphere. They like it. But there's always actually in the back corner there, he's here for dinner. He's a good friend of mine. He's been coming for like 10 years. Taiwan John, shout out to him. He will come, he'll watch the prelims with me, and he'll start on the double IPAs at eight in the morning. So by the main, he's he's done. Like he's crazy. So he's just like he'll be like fuck, and he like top of his lungs, and people are just like, what the hell? And then, so it's crazy. So we got that, and it's fun. So it's crazy when you actually run the venue. You have to have all these little moving pieces. Make sure this guy's happy. Make sure this guy's drinking.
Yeah,
Make sure that table with the kids over there is okay. Buy the kids an ice cream if it's
yeah,
crazy. So it's crazy, man.
yeah. Sorry, I just want to say hi to Greg
Yeah.
Schoffer. Was one
Yes.
in the comments.
Yeah.
It's one of the guys that I knew back in the day here in Shinzu. Um, I don't
Okay.
know.
I don't know what that is, but yeah. Hey.
Okay.
Yeah.
um, not touching that one.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Okay. 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 Yeah, it happens, man. Apologies. Yeah. Okay.
and
Okay.
then, yeah, I think I'd only actually been in Taipei for a UFC event once. And that was back when we brought over Royce Gracie with the mean, yeah. So we brought him over for a seminar.
Wow, that's
So
crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay.
so that was really cool. So I've done a seminar with Royce Gracie, and I've done a seminar with his nephew,
Holy
Horian
crap.
Gracie, in
Wow.
South Africa. And they
Wow.
both have they've got different styles of teaching, but they both have that they carry themselves in a ways like, yeah, we'll destroy everybody in this room.
Oh yeah.
They-
Okay.
but they're just very cool. So doing a workshop with a living legend was already a bonus,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But then the next morning, we go out to Brass Monkey, and they've always got the fights on. So
Sure. Sure.
that
Sure.
I think that was the one and only time I was in Taipei to actually watch a live event.
Okay.
But imagine the commentary coming from this side of me,
Yeah. Yeah.
from
Of
somebody
course.
who
Hoist
knows the
Gracie.
game. You know,
Yeah.
like that was a huge learning experience.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that, man. No, I big fan. So I get a lot of fighters and coaches and stuff, and especially like the South American or especially the Brazilians when they come. I always ask them, and it's always the same story. UFC one, depending on their age, they saw it, or if they're a little bit younger, they rented the VHS tape. UFC one, they saw Hoist Gracie,
Yes,
and it's just like boom, yeah, it's crazy, man. I love it.
yeah. Um, I do think that the environment here in Taiwan has grown,
Yeah,
where you've got a lot of people doing a lot of different things now, and
there we go.
even there's a little club here in Shinzo. I can't remember what the name is, but they've got their gym on the one side of the room and a bar and viewing area on the other side of the room. So it's like, I'm not sure how a bar and a gym works, but hey, you do you.
It's
Um,
there's a coffee shop down the street here called Coffit, and it's like a coffee shop, but it's got like workout equipment in it, and it's like I don't think I've ever seen anyone in there, but it's kind of like it's crazy, man. I don't know what to say about
mind
yeah.
you, for some people, they have a little bit of coffee. Then,
Maybe yeah, it
put
helps.
it on
Yeah,
the treadmill. Let's go.
definitely helps, brother. Let's just finish off the boxing here real quick.
Mm.
What about this? Boom, Nate and Jake Paul. Is Nate too old? Is he too
Okay.
much? Paul's too young. Paul's too big.
Well, no. Let's take these two fighters separately.
Okay,
Jake Paul and what's the other one's name?
Logan Paul.
Logan Paul. Obviously, being YouTubers
Yeah,
and how they built their reputation on YouTube, they've copped a lot of stick from fight fans,
for sure, for
right?
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, this is gimmicky garbage, yada yada yada. But when you've got somebody like Joe Rogan calling out certain moments in fights, it's like, this guy can box.
Yeah,
He starches Tyrone Woodley,
yeah.
lays him out cold.
Yep.
All right.
That was a
And this used to be
shocker.
one of the most feared UFC fighters in the world a few
Yep.
years ago.
Yep. He was.
So don't underestimate either one of these guys in the boxing ring. They are putting in the work.
They are.
Does that stop them from being annoying YouTubers?
Nope.
Nope. Um,
But that sells
but
the fight. That sells the fight, right?
it's
Like if
all
you
the
look at
fight.
like,
This is why they can get these guys paid,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
right?
It's the same thing. It's similar
So,
to the Kobe Covington situation, right? Like how he flipped. Like that story, obviously, right? Kobe Covington, right, was going to
I
get
mean,
fired. Yeah.
how much did what was the last big fight that they did?
Tommy Fury, the Tommy Fury and Jake Paul. Not that one. That
Yeah.
one was. I didn't even watch that one.
I,
I mean, before that
um,
was Woodley. I think Woodley too. Maybe he beat Askren. He beat Woodley. I can't remember, man. I can't
pretty
even.
sure my my dearly departed grandmother could beat Askren, really.
Yeah. Did you see Askren and Damian Maya? Like I think it was Askren's last fight. That was crazy. That was
Look,
crazy.
I think Askren. Like before we move on to
Yeah,
Askren,
sorry
let's
to say. Yeah,
finish
go
this
ahead.
one.
Yeah. Finish.
Weird.
So what about
Um,
Nate? What about Nate Diaz, man? Is he
Nate
done?
Diaz
No,
has legitimate boxing skills
he does.
that apply well in MMA. All right. Again, we're changing the context. We're changing the environment. Right. So it's like taking a SWAT team member who's great at CQB, and then,
Yeah,
hey, we're going to put you out in the jungle. That cool? You've got great skills, right?
yeah.
You should be okay. Like, no, it's a different thing.
It's very different.
So,
Different gloves, different time, different everything.
different speed, because you're worrying about a lot less. So you only have to worry about the hands. So you can let your
That's
hands
it.
go a little bit more. Right?
Don't worry about the leg kicks, the takedowns. Yeah, grappling.
Exactly. The
Yeah,
distances are going to be different as well. So I don't think Nate Diaz has the power
yeah.
to take Jake Paul.
I think
He's
Jake.
got
Jake is
speed.
big. He's big too. Jake. Jake
He's
looks
thick.
big.
Yeah, he's dense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
He's young.
and he's younger.
Yeah,
So Nate's got speed, but he doesn't have power.
yeah,
And I think that's going to make a big difference. And again, the Paul brothers are building themselves around the boxing format, that
yeah,
boxing duration, that boxing timing,
yeah,
whereas Diaz has been doing it for MMA, and that can kind of add that's not great for a transition,
yeah.
in my opinion.
100%. 100%. So, so we're picking Jake Paul. Unfortunate. I would love to see Nate knock out Jake Paul. I would love it. I just, again, I don't think he has the power. I think he could just kind of like slowly pick him apart, but he'll get caught eventually. And Nate gets hit. He always gets hit, right? Like,
Yeah,
and he's got that scar tissue, and he's always bleeding, and he's
yeah.
just like, like he's Nate. We love him. Him and the Ferguson fight was pretty rough to watch. Yeah,
I think, when
yeah,
you're somebody like Nate Diaz,
yeah.
or either of the Diaz brothers, really,
I love them both.
um, they are very much in the mold of your brawler, your boxer brawlers, right?
Yeah, yep, yep.
I mean, they like the Rocky.
Yeah,
You
exactly,
know,
exactly. Yep, yep, yep.
I'm gonna take the hit, saying give the hit,
Yeah,
right? Whereas I feel like other fighters, they follow more the Floyd Mayweather mold. You
yeah,
are not gonna touch me while I'm gonna touch you,
yeah.
and touch you and touch you and touch you and touch you and touch you,
Yep,
right?
yep, 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 yep.
And that's how people like Mayweather win fights. They're not going to stand there and take the cuts and get all busted up for the fight. Right?
I mean, they shouldn't. They shouldn't, right? Yeah. To be honest, yeah. Like, I mean, we like to watch that when people are having that brawl. Like, we'll talk about another fight coming up, like the Gaethjes and stuff like that. We it's like that's a great fight. We love it, but I mean,
It's not great for the fighters. Yeah.
it's not great for them. Like Robbie Lawler and
Oh,
Rory McDonald. That was
oh
amazing. But after that, I think Rory was never the same, and it's a
no.
bummer because Rory was on that he was winning that fight, and he was kind of on the
But
projection to get that belt because GSP just retired or whatever,
yeah.
and
But I mean, that being said,
bummer.
Rory moved on to Bellator,
He
right?
did.
Right?
He did. Yes.
And
Yes.
he
Yes.
had a lot of success in Bellator.
He did. He did. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
He.
really sure what was the cause of that move. Did he get? I'm not sure if he was released from his contract
I know.
or
I'm
he
not
just
sure.
wanted to move. But
I think
I
he
mean, he
wanted to.
wasn't the
Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't having any long runs of losses before he
Yeah.
left, right?
Oh, he
He
wasn't.
wasn't having that. I mean that's the most common cause for fighters to leave the UFC, for
Yeah.
example.
Three
Um,
or four losses in a
three
row.
or
Yeah.
four losses in a row and
Yep.
bad losses
Yeah.
too. You get
Yeah.
knocked the fuck out.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one, man. Yeah. No. Okay. Cool. Let's go through a few more fights, bro, because I got some good ones here lined up. So Connor finally won. I don't know if you're watching The Ultimate Fighter. Have you been
Oh,
watching it?
that's ridiculous. That's like
Have you been
my
watching
team.
Ultimate Fighter
Yeah,
or no? Yeah. He
team
finally
team
won.
McGregor. They have not had a good run.
This guy
So
was losing. Yeah.
there were some legit losses in there. A few, maybe a few early calls, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but the other one with the kids from his team,
Uh huh. Yeah.
like
The one where he was,
SDG.
yeah, he was like
He was on
dominating,
knees and
and then he got
like
caught. That
he
was
just
rough.
got caught, and like that was rough for them.
That was rough.
But yeah, finally, Team McGregor
Doesn't get swept.
hasn't gone swept.
That's
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah,
because I think he would have flipped out. He would have lost it.
he would have. He would have. Yeah,
Because I mean, he was on the edge during the previous episode already.
yeah, he was. He was. Well, because
Um,
it's embarrassing. Yeah, for sure.
and
Yeah,
he's got a huge ego, you know. It's like, and
he's
that's a massive blow to that fragile ego.
for sure, for sure, for sure. So, who do you think takes that fight? First of all, do you think they will ever fight? Is Connor ever going to get into the USADA testing pool? Because he looks massive.
He
Yeah,
looks very big.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't pop the seams in some of those tailor-made suits that he wears.
Exactly.
Um, as far as getting into the USADA testing pool, I think it's going to be par for the course about how it's been before for him. He
They'll
gets a
accept for
pass, you
sure.
know.
Guaranteed.
Um, but I still think Chandler takes it.
Okay. Yeah. I
I think Chandler's been in there. He doesn't have any ring rust,
Yeah. He's good too.
um,
Really good.
and he's really good overall. Um, he's got the knockout power. We saw that with
He
the Tony
draw he
Ferguson.
and he dropped Oliveira too, right? In the first round.
Well, there's the thing about Oliveira. Like
He
I love
always gets dropped in the
Oliveira.
first
He
round.
always gets dropped early,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And it's
True,
kind of like
true.
a wake up call. Like, hey, let's get to work.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think Chandler's just got more fire in the engine, basically. So
Mhm.
at this point, McGregor's not out to prove anything. He's got all
Sleeping
the
in
money. He's got all
sleeping
the
in the silk
trophies,
sheets. Silk sheets, right? That's what they say.
right?
Sleeping in those silk
So I
sheets.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't think he's that hungry for it.
He's not. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I mean, old prime Connor, I'd love to see that, but it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
Like pre Floyd
Connor,
Connor. That is
Connor that beat Jose Aldo.
oh, that guy was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, even when he talked, the stuff he would say was like, wow, just beautiful. I love that. I love those days.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, boom. Let's blast through a few of these. Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier for the BMF.
I'm a Diamond fan. I've always been a Diamond fan. Um, the key here for Poirier is don't scrap with Gaethje.
Okay.
Gaethje gets wild with the swings because he's like, I'm knocking this head out the park,
Yeah.
right? Um, which is also part of his downfall in most fights.
Sure. For sure.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
he just looks exhausted at certain points in some fights, and it's just like,
Yeah.
where's your energy output management? You know, it's like
I
you do
think he's
know
getting.
that.
I think he's got better. I think he's got better now, but he's still. Yeah. He still needs to
Yeah,
work.
hit him a few times in the face, and that plan goes out the window.
Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
let's scrap.
That's true. That's true.
Um, Poirier used to be like that too, but I think
Yeah.
he's managed to put a much better hold on that brawler mentality.
Yeah.
Um, I think that Gaethje is a much better grappler though,
Okay.
and
Wrestling is
I
good. Yeah.
I think that could be the
Interesting.
distance between them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think for Poirier, just keep the distance and then pick him apart, bust up those legs with some low leg kicks,
Okay.
stuff the takedowns, and I think Poirier takes this because I think you'll eventually connect with something on Gaethje that'll put him down.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty fair. I think that Dustin is technically better for sure. I think Gaethje. I think he's a little younger and a little more hungry. I think that Dustin he beat Connor twice, so he made good money. I'm guessing, right? And
Mm,
then it was yeah, either both of them losing to I think Oliveira and is was Islam or no Khabib. Khabib, yeah, no Khabib
yeah.
smashed both, so that's tough. That's a tough one. Yeah,
So I think
that's
for
gonna be
Dustin,
good stuff though. Yeah,
Gaethje was the interim.
Gaethje was interim. Yeah, for sure.
and Dustin was interim.
I believe that. Yep, yep.
Yeah. So Dustin faced Khabib for the title,
Yeah.
the unification. I'm not sure who
I
Justin
think they
faced.
I think they both might have. I think they both. I'm not. It's been a while, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
'Cause I remember.
Uh,
I
and
remember Khabib. I think he choked out Gaethje in the first round or something like that. It was a triangle or so. I can't really remember, but yeah, it was rough. Yeah, yeah. You Googling it?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, yeah. Let me Google it. Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah, great fight. It's gonna be a great fight.
um, but I think with a fighter like Khabib out of the way,
Yeah.
uh, now the roadblocks are um, who's at
Islam,
155? Islam,
right? Islam's rough.
Oliveira.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't, as much as I love Dustin, I think
yeah,
Dustin really wants to get to that title. I
yeah.
don't see him beating Islam.
No, I don't see
And
either of them beating Islam. Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I,
like I said, I'm putting Dustin over Gaethje already. So if
okay.
I see Dustin being
Okay.
unable to get past Islam or unable to get past Oliveira, I don't think Gaethje will even come close.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Next one. We have a couple more. There's one. All of that craziness aside, does Drickus have a chance?
Absolutely.
Okay.
With exactly the same fight plan that I said with Whitaker. Whitaker and Adesanya are refined strikers,
Okay.
technicians,
Yep. Agree.
right? Drickus is not. If you watch him move, if you watch him throw low leg kicks, body kicks,
Okay.
it's clunky. It's not a smooth action,
He
right?
looks so just so big and he looks a little more stiff and strong, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
but he's incredibly durable, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, we're going to do the Rocky thing. Um, I think Drickus is willing to get in there, take the hit to
Okay.
deliver a much bigger hit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
as we said, um, I don't think Adesanya has the power
Okay.
to knock out Drickus.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
Um, so Drickus doesn't really have to fear anything from the power standpoint. Um, can Adesanya kick him in the head and knock him out? Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that depends on, like I said, that's distance management and open opportunity.
Okay.
Uh, I don't see Izzy trying to grapple with Drickus.
He should not. He should not. I don't think he
Right?
will. He knows.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think Drickus again. He makes this fight dirty, puts him up against the cage, and then possibly chooses the grappling route here and
Yeah.
beats him on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. I think that that's his definitely his path to victory. Because yeah, if he stands and strikes and it's getting picked apart, that's not good.
Especially
Just go
at
to
distance.
yeah, yeah. It'll be because Izzy's so long and thin and lanky, right? And he's
Yeah.
really good at distance control. So, but yeah, I think Drickus is gonna go in and just if he can grab him, ragdoll him a little bit, then yeah, I think he's got a chance.
Hulk smash.
Basically, that's what he has to do. Yeah. All right, couple more, couple more. I'm curious about the next few here. Jan Blakovic, Alex Pereira.
Ooh. Now, Pereira came in, lots of hype. This
Yeah,
is the man that beat Izzy.
and he beat him again.
He beat him like quite
Beat him
easily, to
easily.
be
Yeah,
fair.
yeah. It was shocking.
But he's had that shine tarnished a bit
Yeah,
with that KO.
he has.
How does he deal with the KO? We don't know because we've never seen him lose before.
True, true.
Um, so I think this fight will be a really good gauge for seeing how he recovers from a bad loss,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was a bad loss.
It was really bad.
But Blahovic, he wants to get back to his title, and I mean, Polish power always
He hits
exists.
hard, right? He hits hard. Yeah, he hits
Yeah,
harder than Izzy. Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah,
But Pereira is a more well-rounded kickboxer.
yep, for sure. Yep, yep.
So if this fight stays standing, I think Pereira wins this one.
Okay, I would think that Blakovic should take it to the ground. I mean, I would imagine so, but yeah, if he tries to just do shot for shot, yeah, I
Yeah.
think Pereira wins for sure. I like Pereira too. I mean, for me, I watch so much UFC that I almost like every person. You know, like there's only a few. Can't really think of any right now that it's like I don't like this guy. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I think it might be at the point now where
Yeah,
we don't really have those
yeah.
big personalities
Okay.
besides Izzy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, the next one. Boom. What about this guy? Hold up. Sean O'Malley.
ooh,
Sugar Sean's got he's got the personality. I think he still thinks that he beat or he did not lose to Cheeto, which he did. So
yeah.
that's yeah. So what do you think of this? That's a speaking of big personalities, one of the biggest from the
I,
UFC
I I
stars.
have to say,
Yeah,
Sterling as champion has been nearly without flaw.
yeah. He's looking just about perfect. Yep.
Yeah, his grappling is fantastic. His submission game's fantastic. His his movement when in the striking game is amazing. And I think even with all of O'Malley's skills, and he's got very similar skills,
Yeah.
but I just don't think he has enough for Sterling.
Agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I think the USC would love Sugar Sean to be the champ,
Oh
but
yeah,
it's
he'll
Sterling.
he'll be the new old
Plus,
school McGregor.
yeah, exactly. But I think O'Malley lost to Peter Yan that last fight, to be honest. But hey, I mean, I'm not a
Yeah.
judge, right? So yeah, I think Aljo is going to be a little too much, too strong, and he's good. He's very good. He's
Just watching that second fight with Aljo and PTN is
yeah,
two opposite
yeah,
fighters from the first fight. You know, it's like I have never seen Peter Yan look so ordinary
yeah. Agree.
than that second fight.
Yep.
He's
True.
like, what was the hype about this guy? I don't understand. If you just watch that one fight,
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. It's true. I think. Yeah, Aljo's really well rounded as well. Like
yeah.
he's just like he's good everywhere. And Sugar Sean, he's kind of that pick apart thing. I mean, his jujitsu and
My
that's should be okay now, but yeah,
my thing is about Aljo. I want Aljo, even though he won't do it because they're brothers, Ray Longo's boys.
yeah,
I want him to fight Divashvili.
yeah, Marab. Yep,
Did I
yep.
say that name right?
I don't
Yep.
know. That's why I say Marab. Yeah, yeah. No, agree. Yeah, that would be a great scrap, but they won't do it. And I think
They
that
won't do
yeah,
it.
Aljo moves up, and then yeah, I think Cejudo's trying to get that fight. Cejudo's trying to get
Henry?
that fight. Yeah,
Ooh,
that's a good fight too. Henry, we
yeah.
got to see where he's at though. But yeah, he looked pretty good. But yeah, no, definitely Aljo won that. That was a good fight. That was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, couple more, couple more. Oh,
Mm.
Kelvin coming back down. He said, "All right, he's going to take another run at the belt. He's going to cut back on mom's tacos." And then they said, "Okay, fight Shavkat."
Uh, I love Calvin.
Yeah,
Ever since he was on Tough, he
Ultimate
was the
Fighter.
little the underestimated little guy
Yep,
like
last,
Rashad
last.
Evans was, right?
Yep, yep, yep. Last choice.
And yeah,
Yep.
and he came good, obviously,
Yeah,
and he's very durable.
very
Um, it's that Mexican chin, right?
Mexican chin, that Mexican heart. Yeah, yeah. Like
uh,
Moreno. Yeah,
but I don't know. I think Shavkat is just a little bit too much for him to take, especially what's he? Is Calvin 30 plus at this point?
Oh, if
Yeah,
he has to be, he has to be. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna say 33. I'm gonna say around 33, 32,
It,
33.
yeah,
Shavkat's young. Shavkat's young still, isn't he? And
yeah.
he's hungry
So
and he's a monster. And like that last fight when he did that standing, I think it was a standing stick the bat or it was a guillotine or something. He did a
he was
standing
a
choke
step.
on Jeff Neal, I think. He was just like
Yeah,
it was like so he
yeah,
was he looked good. He looked good.
yeah. I think Shapka's just got too much for him.
Yeah. I think Shavkat goes all the way up to the top. And I did want to see Hamzat and Shavkat, but Hamzat moved up. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. I don't know if Shavkat's ready for the belt now, but I think he will be in the next while. He needs to be challenged because nobody's really. I think Jeff Neal
I
cut
think
him
that
a little bit, but yeah,
I think that's also never a good thing for a fighter just to be walking through a division.
like Darren
You
Till.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Until you hit a roadblock and you're just like, what is this all of a sudden?
yeah,
Didn't used to be this hard. I don't know how to process this information.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So
that happened with Darren Till when he got all up there with Woodley. Everybody was just like, he's going to kill Woodley, and then he just got destroyed. I think he landed like one or two. Then after
yeah.
that, he was kind of up and down, and now he's gone, and which is a bummer because I do like Darren Till. I do like Darren Till. Yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, Scouser,
Uh, God,
Scouser.
as much as I love Liverpool, man, it's my club for life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I struggle with the Scouse accent.
yeah, yeah. That's a tough one. Who's the other one? Patty Pimlet, right?
Pimlet and Maddie. Well, what's the girl's name?
Meatball Molly, right? Yeah,
Meatball Molly. Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's like,
It's funny.
God, can you imagine those two on the drink and then still trying
Oh
to have a
God,
chat with them? It's like,
that's tough.
what?
That's a tough one. Exactly. Let's. I believe that they're about to make this fight right here for Abu Dhabi. I think they're going to make that. I think they're going to make that. What do you think? Hamzat just maul him, or what are you thinking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Paulo Costa.
I mean, he's yeah,
I think ever since the Izzy fight where Izzy just picked him apart,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
he's again when you see this hype like and you look at him, it's like he's a big guy, and he's thick and like he's muscular, and you just look at him like swinging those big arms of his,
Yeah.
and
Him and
you're like,
Romero. It's a good one.
how
Yeah.
can anybody stand in front of this awesome force of destruction?
Yeah.
And then you watch Izzy just make him look so bad,
Yeah.
you know. I don't think he's been the same fighter since.
Okay.
Like he's top tier. He's in the top 15.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll be there much longer if you have uh,
If you
these
feed
younger
him.
fighters who
Yeah.
are much better rounded overall
Yep.
than he is. So Costa's basically a Route One fighter. Smash, and,
All
standing up, and then
smash.
take
Yeah.
you down, and then smash you into the ground.
Yep.
That's what I do,
Yeah.
right? And if you can't do that, he's
Then
got
what?
nothing, right?
100%.
I think Hamzat is just a different kind of beast that he won't know how to handle, and Hamzat is just better at the ground and pound than he is.
Do you think Hamzat goes all the way to the top with like I think who's that? Izzy? Because I mean Hamzat's amazing, and then when I seen him just ragdoll Kevin Holland, that was crazy. Like it was
Yeah,
just like and what he did to the leech as well, picking him up,
that
bringing him. That
yeah,
was crazy. It's like and when you see Hamzat get interviewed, if you kind of look into his eyes, like he looks like he looks crazy. You know what I mean? Like if he's not, he's playing it off very well. Like he's scary looking. You know, like he's with the cut lip
that scar. Yeah,
and it just the eyes, his pupils just massive, and just looks like a wolf. He looks like an animal. Like he's
he looks
hungry.
like a hungry wolf.
He's
Yeah,
scary. He's scary. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So I think he's going to be the like we said the wolf knocking at the door
yeah.
of the top three in that division.
Okay.
but I don't see him occupying the top spot.
You don't think he can take Izzy? Is
Well,
I mean Izzy's
not just Izzy, but even the kind of caliber of fighters who will beat Izzy.
okay. Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
I just don't think Hamzat's quite there yet.
Okay. He's quite young too, I think, isn't he? I believe.
I
I
think
don't
it's
know.
late
Late
mid
20s?
twenties, late 20s.
Yeah. It's pretty young. Yeah. Yeah, brother. Yeah, I think I do you have a favorite fight you're looking forward to? I mean, I labeled a bunch here, but yeah.
Uh, Not really off the top of my head that I can think of,
Okay.
because like you've chosen really good ones too.
Yeah, man. I love this. I
Um,
love this sport. I love it. Yeah.
um, what's weird for me sometimes is like you find some really interesting fights in the undercard as well.
For sure, for
Uh,
sure. Yeah.
and I mean, like if you look at certain events, like let's take, let's see what else we have. Let's take 291 for example.
Okay.
On the undercard, you've got Stephen Thompson versus Michelle Pereira, sorry.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Oh, I didn't even know
And
that.
those are two insane strikers, right? You're not going to see much grappling going on in this fight. You're looking at a potential masterclass of striking.
Yeah,
And this is a prelim fight,
that's crazy.
you know?
Crazy. Yeah.
And then I think another fight that could be flying under the radar also on that same prelim card is Derek Lewis and Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Ooh, I
The
didn't even
big
know.
boys, heavy
Yeah,
guns.
love Larry. I love
As,
Black Beast. Love that guy, man.
my
Yeah,
balls are hot.
yeah. Where Ronda Rousey fine ass at? I was like, yes. That's the best. That was the best. You know, I have a funny story.
Um,
Funny story about that. My father-in-law, my wife's Taiwanese, Haka from Miao. My father-in-law is a massive WWE fan. Right. So, uh, me and my wife were kind of seeing each other. I don't know, a long time ago, and the WWE came. Whatever, we missed it. Blah blah blah. And then now, I think they came. I think 3 or 4 years ago, and we've been married for over 10 years at the time. My father-in-law loves it, so I bought floor seats. We went and watched the fights, and he was excited. He's like, we should make a sign. I'm like, all right, cool. So I made a sign for him to hold that said, "Where Ronda Rousey's fine ass at." So I have like this 65-year-old, like just like skinny, tiny Taiwanese
has
man.
no clue what he's holding
No,
up.
no clue. He's got this sign, and he's just standing there with his little baseball cap on, like in the front row. And then everybody's looking at us like, "What the hell?" And then
But
there was women announcers that were just kind of looking and like smiling and staring. And then I'm like, "Put your sign up, man." And he puts up his sign, and her face just drops, like looking at us in pure disgust. And I was like, you didn't see that one. Oh, all right, cool. It was great, man. No, I think he's closer to 70 now. It's just a little
I,
tiny guy, just like
I
so.
wish there was like if you could rewatch it and just like screen grab that look at that
I would
man
love,
like in the corner there.
I
Snap.
would love to. I'd love to do it, man. I'd love to do that. No, yeah. I don't. I might have a picture somewhere, but it was so good, so good. Yeah, brother. But you know what? I think we made a pretty good combo here. I think we should do some fight breakdown stuff. Because we could do it something like this. I could set it up and yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
So
yeah,
for
let's do it.
just
Yeah,
for the audience out there, we will be on the commentary team for WOTD 10, which will be August 27th
yeah, yeah.
and August
August
20.
27th. Yes. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and August 27th is
What
a
day is that?
Sunday.
It is a Sunday. Okay.
So by doing, you said that you wanted to do a follow up,
We should. We
like a
should. Yeah.
post.
We can do pre as well. Yeah, we could do whatever, man. We're good. Let's figure it out.
So I think doing it after
Yeah.
is probably going to be difficult because like there's work from Mondays to Fridays.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Um, but a post maybe like a week later
Yeah, yeah,
could
yeah.
possibly work.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh,
Let's do that. But also, I think we could even maybe do a let's do that first, and then we'll talk about it another time about maybe. Yeah, I mean, we could talk some UFC fights. We could even start a separate podcast about just fight breakdown, pre-post type deal once a month,
I
or
even
it'd be
chose a
fun.
name already. It's
That'd be
the
great.
Review Preview Show.
Done, done, sold. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I love it.
Told you I got a degree in marketing.
There you go. I have one more question for you. Since you're like the marketing guy, do you have a nickname? Did you grow up with a nickname? Because if not,
Oh God, God, my nicknames growing up was stupid. I had the
because if
ridiculous.
not, I've got a
Uh,
perfect one for you, man.
oh God, what is it?
Nazeem, hold on, let me get it. Right here. Let me pull that up right here. Nazeem the Dream. So that's the best name, man. That's the best name. Nazeem the Dream, and you kind of put your hand up like, oh, that's the name. That's the name, man. I love it. That's the nickname. I don't know if you like it, but the first thing that came to my mind, I was
Well,
like,
that's
that's
the
it.
thing.
That's the name. Yeah,
You don't choose your own nickname, right? People
that's
just
true.
give
You
it to
don't
you.
exactly. That's it. You're the dream. It's a good name. It's a good name, man. It's a good name, brother. I love it. But
uh,
yeah,
uh,
but
thank
go
you.
ahead. No, no, no problem. It's the best. It's the best. I'm surprised no one's come up with that before, but it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. But yeah, brother, I think a lot of people think, when they're doing a podcast, talking for an hour is not possible. We've been an hour and 20 already, so yeah, time
Man, I
flies,
tell
bro.
you,
Time flies, man.
the the podcast thing and the duration of it, it's it's really about who you're talking to and the ability to, share ideas and bounce comments off each other.
Yeah,
And if we look at the team that we had at WOTD 9,
yeah.
we spoke for 10 hours. And,
That's true. That's true.
and I mean, we only took very little, very short breaks in those 10 hours. And those 10 hours flew by. We were watching some fantastic fights, lots of great local fighters,
Yeah.
couple of foreign imports who were here to fight um,
Yep.
in Taiwan, and obviously watching some
Time
really
flew.
good local fights. Time flies. Huh?
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
we
great.
watched like we got through how many fights?
I don't remember
42.
48, 40 something. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't
So we
remember.
had
Yeah.
over 10 hours commenting on 40 plus fights. It just flew by, and there wasn't any like lag in the conversation. And I think that is a testament to the team that we had. So it was you, me, Matt Bateman, and
Trey
Trey
Mitchell. Yeah. Yeah.
Trey Mitchell. Yeah.
Yeah. It was great, man. So I can't wait to do that again. You got the new nickname now. So when we're ready, when we're ready to start the new podcast, man. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
Preview and review show with Eddie. What's your nickname going to be?
I don't even have a nickname, man. So we gotta figure one out. Yeah. We just call this we do everything live. So we just call it the live show, the Eddie live show, right? So I don't know.
With
We'll have
live
to figure it out. Yeah.
with
Live.
live Eddie and Nazeem the Dream.
That's right. I love it. That's a good name, man. It's a good name. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. But yeah, brother, do you have anything that you want to add before we call it?
Yeah, just one more time. So WOTD 10 August 27th. Again, we've got 40 plus fights, 15 of which I think are on the main card. We've
Uh-huh.
got fighters from Japan, Hong Kong, America, a couple other countries.
Yeah, for
Don't
sure.
have my information at hand to probably do this justice, but should be an amazing day. If you're in Taipei, come through to the Taipei Gymnasium, join Eddie, myself, and all the other fighters and commentators. It should be a great day to enjoy some fights.
Beautiful. Yes. Sounds good. Man, I appreciate it. I know we gotta do some more UFC podcasts and stuff like that. It'll be fun. We could do it something
Sounds good
similar
to
like
me.
this. It'll be good. Yes, thank you guys for watching. I'll chop this video up into little bits and stuff, and I'll share it, and it's gonna be good, man. I appreciate the
Enjoy
love.
Eddie's Cantina.
Yes. What's that? Sorry, I missed that. Yeah.
and go to Eddie's Cantina.
Oh yeah, I always forget. I'm like, yeah, come to my restaurant and eat. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't we're on TikTok now. We're on Instagram. We're sharing clips everywhere. So yeah, follow us everywhere. Appreciate it, guys. See you next week. Bye bye.
All right.